I'm so excited to be here from New York City. This is my first time in Finland, and I have terrible Finnish, but I would like to say hello to everyone and to thank the Slush organizers for having me and to the 1,500 volunteers who made this whole event possible. So today I'm going to talk about how communities can help businesses scale. So I have a game for you guys. I'm going to give you 20 seconds, and I want you to tell me how many people are in this photo. OK? Ready? OK, I see some people counting. I see people checking email. I see people coming up saying, what is going on? What is this talk? All right, in time. Who has the answer? 1,700, 2,000. You know what? None of those are right. And I didn't think any of you would actually be able to get the answer, because I didn't see anyone in the crowd lean over to their neighbor and say, hey, let's split the photo in half. You count how many are on the right. I'll count how many are on the left. We can get the answer faster. This is why collaboration is important, because if each of us took a very small quadrant of this photo and were just assigned to count that little quadrant, together in 20 seconds, we would all be able to figure out how many people are in this photo. So today, I'm going to share some of the lessons I've learned about collaboration, and hopefully these lessons will apply to your startups to help you grow faster, hire smarter, and possibly change the world. So I believe in the power of connecting people, and it's not just because of venture capital. I actually was an entrepreneur. I ran a travel company that we connected people together to get better advice. I started a nonprofit where we connect military veterans to communities so that they can find jobs, find education, and build meaningful careers. And now I work at a venture capital firm. And that venture capital firm believes in the power of networks. It believes in the power of connecting people to solve very big problems. So up here, you'll see some of our companies. Most of them have networks of engaged users that they use to solve big problems. And my role as general manager at Union Square Ventures is to connect all of these companies together so that they can learn from each other. So we currently have 61 companies, and I've gotten to sit down with all of them to understand how they scale, how they hire, what challenges they face, and how they've been able to become as successful as they are. And for those startup entrepreneurs in the audience, for those of you working on a new idea or a new company, this is your prize. I'm going to share with you some of the secrets from inside these companies that you can take and apply to your business. I'm going to help you understand how you can use community to better grow your business faster, smarter, and world-changing ideas. So us entrepreneurs know this question. How are we going to scale the product? Well, what does scaling the product have to do with community? I want to tell you a story about a company called Duolingo. Does anyone know Duolingo? Duolingo? Awesome. So Duolingo is on a mission to provide free language learning to people around the world. Free, forever language learning. Now, this is a really big idea. Just think of how many languages there are, building a tool that you can actually translate language to language and learn over time. So when they were getting started, they started with 4 of the languages that they had people on the team that knew those languages, or they had people close by that they could ask. So languages are a little complex because it's not just learning Spanish from English. It's learning English from Spanish, and Spanish to German, and German to Italian. There's all these kind of sides to it. And they quickly realized that in order to provide free language learning to everyone, there's no way that they could get there fast enough. They would have to hire thousands of people to be able to build all of the languages and all the different combinations of languages. So what they decided to do was they took their language tool that they use to build new languages, and they actually gave it to their community. People were already asking, hey, can you put Portuguese on there? Can you put Chinese? And they just couldn't handle it. So within a few months of when they opened up their tool to build new languages, they were able to offer 24 different languages. There's no way they could have done this without a very active community. They created the tools, they offered them to the community, and this is what they got. And I want you guys to notice two things about these languages. The first is there is no Finnish on here. So anyone from Finland who would like to contribute, please go to Duolingo Incubator and add Finnish up here. I would have learned some words on Duolingo had it been there, but we need some people from the community to help contribute. And the second thing I want you to notice is this black box at the very bottom right of the screen. That says Klingon. People know what Klingon is? So there's a very active community that really believes that people should learn Klingon. So they've been able to use Duolingo's tool to build Klingon as a language you can learn on Duolingo. This would never be built by the company. There's not really a reason to build it. But the fact that the community had the tools in their hands, they were able to build something that would have never been possible without the combination of Duolingo and this power for community. So I think each person here, it's worth thinking about your business. What happens if you gave some of your tools away? What if it wasn't just your employees who were contributing to the product? What would be possible if you open that up? Now, the second problem that you probably run into when you're growing a company is increasing your customers. Now, I'm a VC, and we always look for those growth curves up and to the right. So I want to tell you a quick story about Duckduckgo. So Duckduckgo is a search engine. It's very popular in the United States because it doesn't track your behavior. It doesn't store all your searches over time. It's anonymous search. Now, this is a rare thing in the United States, where it's just assumed that if you go on Google, you're going to be tracked. So Duckduckgo has these huge competitors. They're a very small company. There's only about 20 people that work on this company. So how are they going to grow customers? Well, they came up with this idea that a lot of their customers would come to Duckduckgo, and they'd be searching for a product on a website. So they would maybe say shoes, and they ultimately would click on the answer for Amazon, so they get into Amazon. But Duckduckgo decided, why should we make them come to Duckduckgo as a middle step when really we know that they want to end up on Amazon? So they collaborated with partners in the search field to be able to do these sort of hacks, DuckDuck hacks, as they call them, or instant answers. So if you go to Duckduckgo and you put in shoes and you do this !A, which they refer to as bang A, then you will automatically get put into Amazon. You kind of skip that extra page step in the middle. Another example is here. I looked up the museums in Helsinki. You can see at the top bar, all of the museums come up. I don't have to sort of click in to get that information. I could quickly go up there. So this is a way that they opened it up so that other people in their space, nonprofits, for-profits, could build in instant answers on top of Duckduckgo. The community was making Duckduckgo better and more useful to their searches, and then also to their partners who wanted more search traffic from Duckduckgo. So these partners started telling people to use Duckduckgo in their searches. And this is what happened. They now serve over 10 million searches a day in the US. So they've grown, and their team has stayed basically the same size because they've opened it up and thought about how they could partner with people in their community. So I would challenge you all to think about how you can collaborate with other services. Maybe there's people that have the same customers that you guys could collaborate together and create a better customer experience, but also grow your customer base. So the third one is about hiring talent. Now, from day one, you want to have the best team. As we heard earlier, that's such a crucial part of business. So I want to tell you a little bit about Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a service that provides faster, more reliable internet for your website. It protects you against DDoS attacks. And it has this global network of distributed servers so that even if there's an attack in one area, your website will never go down. So Cloudflare is known for reliability, and they ran into a problem in 2013 where the website went down. Their service went down. Websites were going down. It was terrible. And the CEO decided that he was going to blog about everything that happened. He said, this is what we did wrong. This is what we would never do again. This is what we're going to do so that in the future, this will never happen. And normally you'd think, oh, man, they probably lost so many customers. Can you imagine telling everyone, like, we did these things wrong. This is what we're going to do to fix it, but we messed up. Well, what happened was they actually got more customers because the CEO was so transparent. What it didn't show on the last slide was that there was actually commenting allowed on this blog post by the CEO. And most of the comments were, hey, I hate that my website went down, but I love that you were so honest about it. I'm going to tell everyone to sign up for you. Now, where this comes into talent is they actually had a number of engineers read this blog post from the CEO talking about how they're going to change it, the technology they're using, and people said, I want to work there. I want to work at a company that respects the fact that sometimes mistakes happen, and I want to go work somewhere that the CEO is going to come out and say something and not just try and bury it under the rug. So they actually ended up making a number of hires after that blog post because people came to them and said, I'm a fantastic engineer, and I want to work at a company like this. So think about ways that you can build trust with your community externally, and maybe that could be a great recruiting tool for your business. So these are the 3 things that I'd love for you to consider when thinking about how community can impact your business. But before I leave you, I just wanted to offer one more thing. There's a famous African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you can go together. And I encourage all of you to think about ways that you can collaborate within your community, within your teams, within your competitors even, in order to grow faster, hire smarter, and absolutely change the world. Now, if you'd like to continue the conversation about how connecting people can solve big problems, please say hello or tweet me here. But I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much for having me. Kiitos.